Hello, this is Grey Dog FM and Dave Dog here. We're with the season review for Bradford Park Avenue for 25-26. As you can see on screen, it's not working. No button at the bottom to carry on with the season review. In the text it says let's look back over the highs and lows. A glitch. We're going to have to do our own season review, and we're going to start with the signings we made this season. So season transfers in. You can see two at the bottom there which have come in on the 18th of May. I've moved right through to the 18th of May to see if the season review did come up again, but it didn't. So the only real signing we made was 2nd of January, Tom Chiabi, young player, signed as a defensive midfielder. As we've already seen, he has not quite lived up to expectations so far. 23-year-old, he has experience. We only brought him in on £75 a week, so not a lot of money. He's got 2-star current ability, 5-star potential, so we'll persevere with him. He's got 14 tackling, not a lot of aggression, so shouldn't pick up yellow cards. Other good attributes: positioning, teamwork, decisions and concentration, so maybe he will come good. The only thing for me is a little short at 5'8", not so good in the heading department, a jumping reach of 4 and heading 7. Just a note on the signings that we've made then so far. Did mention in the previous episode about Michael Jacobs. We got him on the transfer from the 18th of May, but he's been on a trial contract to be with us to get settled in. Let's have a look at him again. A left midfielder, but he can also play on the right. He's right footed, prefers being an inverted winger on the left. I think we need a little bit more experience in the team, so we're going to use our youngsters with one or two more experienced players, and we've got him for £160 a week, but we've had to promise him he'll be a regular starter. It's already saying that the player's probably past his best, but his attributes are good, as I said before, and he's got experience of much higher level. This is the first time he's dropped down to this level. So the other player then is Callum Stead. We had a look at Boston. Boston won the league by 15 points. So I had a look at them. Last season they finished about 17th or something like that. Let's just have a check on that. So Boston history, and we can see 16th they finished last season, but they won the league easily. So I thought I'll have a look at their transfer records and see who they've brought in. And they got lucky, I think, really. They didn't a lot of free transfers. They didn't spend money. If we just have a look at some of the players, a lot of players coming in free, some loans from league teams. But the player I could get was Callum Stead. He is a 3-star, possible 3.5-star. Important player who could still improve. He's 27 years old, so he's got plenty of experience. It's saying he's an attacking midfield, a right winger, 14 pace, 13 agility, 12 acceleration. He's 5'11", so fairly tall. The thing that I bought him for is to be a striker. He's finishing his 8. He's got good determination, good jumping reach, heading 6, technique 11. So if we look at his stats at Boston for last season, he didn't play regular. A good goal return for that, 6 games in all, but 4 of them coming on a sub, and a 7.12 rating, 80% shots on target. So I'm hoping that he will come good. As we can see, previously he was at Brackley and he scored 20 in 40, 7.11, and 11 in 38 before that. So a bit of a punt, but free transfer. We're having to pay him £400 wages a week, but a bit more experience for us up front. Ahmed has not signed a new contract as yet. Those are the players we've got in so far. Players going out are all young players. Davis, Syme, Rose, Quinn and Pearce all went out on frees. So we didn't transfer any major players out, but if we look at release players, we did get rid of Harrison Hopper in March, as I've said previously, causing trouble, and we paid him off. But the other players that left in the summer, Angle, Blake Tracy and Neil Osborne. We'll have a quick run through our season, including the cups, and we started off with a promising 4-3 defeat at Fylde. Fylde eventually finished in the playoffs, and more about the playoffs a little bit later. Will Truman opened the scoring on 44 just before half time. Harry Lovett gave us a 2-0 lead, but then Fylde must have had a rollicking in the changing room at half time and came back with 2 goals in 6 minutes, 63 and 69, to level the scores. Will Longbottom then put us back in front on 88 minutes, but 2 late goals, 89 and 90 plus 2, gave the win to Fylde. Then we lost at home to Gloucester 1-0 before we got our win against Bishop Stortford. This is where we won most of our games against teams that were in the relegation zone, teams that have been promoted into the league, and a convincing 4-1 win against Bishop Stortford. Up and down, and then we got a surprise win against Braintree. That was probably the match to remember for this season. Let's have a look at that one. Braintree were flying high at that point and we blew them away. Harry Lovick put us in front on 3 minutes. Then Zondo made it 2 on 9. Lovick made it 3 on 12. And just before half time, a Will Longbottom penalty made it 4-0 at half time. But we made it 5-0 after 53 from Finn O'Boyle before Callum Page got one back on 76. That was probably our best performance of the season, and a real surprise for me in that we were coming in on the back of a home defeat to Southport. So things were looking up again. We were trying different formations. We started off with a 4-2-4 wide at the beginning of the season and amended that to put in a defensive midfielder and make it 4-1-1-4. That was the first game that we tried that, and we thought, here we go, we're doing well. But then Brackley away, and we're going to come to the goal of the season soon, and this was one of the contenders from Will Truman. So runner-up in the goal of the season was Will Truman with this one. Took it from the throw-in from a Dunstan, played a 1-2 with him, progressed in, coming in on his left foot, and a little bit of fault keeper, but a good shot, and that was the runner-up in our goal of the season. I'm going to show you the winner from Will Longbottom later. One to remember, the 5-1 home win against Braintree. We then were up and down, winning games, as I say, against lower teams. FC United 3-0. Good draw 1-1 against Darlington away. Needham Market, we then got another one. They, newly promoted team, ended up going back down again. A lot of draws, as we've said, and a really poor run here, which we stopped with a 3-0 win against Alfreton, and then another drawing run before we beat Bishop Stortford, another relegated team, and then a 4-3 win against Southport. And this is including the goal of the season from Will Longbottom. The one I've decided is the goal of the season. Longbottom's second goal to put us 2-1 in front, and I decided this just narrowly shaded the Truman goal. Truman running down on the left, plays it over to the right, Longbottom outside the box, not under much pressure, but what a shot that is. Left foot into the top corner. Let me know if you disagree with that. As I say, it was close between him and Truman. So 4-3 at the beginning of February against Southport. We then went on 4 successive defeats. Really bad performance of the season. Relegated FC United. We lost 4-1. As I said at the time, I think it was something I said in the press conference. Going into it thinking we were going to win. We did open the scoring in 4 minutes, but that was it. We were disastrous. And then we lost 3 successive matches after that. Darlington, Leamington and Peterborough. The Leamington and Peterborough ones we should have won. 2 1-0 defeats. We got back on track with a 2-1 win away to Blythe, and then 3 successive draws before we beat bottom side Warrington 1-0. Should have been a lot more than 1-0. A boring 0-0 draw against Guiseley, who were in the playoffs at the end of the season. I'll tell you about the playoffs and how Guiseley got on. Draw 1-0 win against Matlock was our last win of the season before we went on a 5-game run of not winning. The season tailed off. We made a few experiments, played a few youngsters, but the basis of it, we weren't good enough. We improved defensively, but that was at the expense of not scoring as many goals and too many drawn games. So ranking then, we finished 18th, played 46, won 11, then 15 draws being the problem. We actually lost less games than last season, 20 against 21. So over the seasons I've been here, we finished 18th, 19th, 13th and 18th, and 53, 48, 61 and 48 points. We've really got to get more like last season, the 61 points or more. So let's have a look at the FA Cup. For FA Cup second round, Needham Market away, easy 3-0 win there. In the third round, Buxton, who had been relegated the previous season from our league, we won 2-0 away. The fourth round we played old foes Chester at home. They were in the National League now, being promoted from our league the previous season, and went down 2-0. The FA Trophy, Scarborough away, we went out in the second round, the first match we play in that, 3-1 away to Scarborough, and that was our first foray with a 4-4-2, and we really could do with a good cup run for the finances. Currently we are 128,109 in the red. We've actually made a profit this season of 18,180 compared to 56,813 last season, but we had a takeover at the beginning of the season which wiped out our debts, and it's going that way again. 128,000 in the red. So the gate receipts are the problem. The average crowd was high 400s, 500. Obviously the best crowd was Guiseley, 1,526. That was our highest crowd of the season. If we could get that every week, then we could probably afford to pay players more. I did say I'd update you with the playoffs, so here we go then. First round, or quarterfinals if you want to say. The 6th and 7th and 4th and 5th place teams. Kings Lynn beat Banbury after a 3-3 draw on penalties, and Guiseley beat Chorley on penalties after a 1-1 draw. So Guiseley and Kings Lynn went into the semi-final, where Guiseley lost 3-0 to Fylde. So Guiseley are still in our league next season. Darlington beat Kings Lynn 3-1. So it was Darlington and Fylde playing in the final. That finished 1-0 to Darlington. So Darlington are promoted through the playoffs to go with Boston, and we've got Fylde back in the league next season. I don't know who has come up from the regional leagues, but we'll have that in the next episode. Let's have a look at our best 11 then. Pretty much agree with this, apart from probably Zondo up front. So we've got Macaulay in goal. Standard back five as such, along with Sam Fielding as a defensive midfielder. So Dunstan, Abontahoma, Sams, Ferguson has made that position his own. He's really come on. I'm really pleased about that. He's had a run in the team and finished up with a average rating of 6.8. In the midfield, Longbottom on the right, Lovick on the left, and Will Truman. A good season from him. He's really improving. 7.12. Abontahoma is the best rating player at 7.25. And up front, Hamed, still our top scorer. Not as many as last season, but 17 goals this season and a 7.04 average. The one I would probably change in that best 11 is Zondo. He scored 6 in 34. Carter Denson I probably have in there. He got 7 in 20. So let's have a look at how we're going to line up as we're standing at the moment, the squad planner. And there's lots of holes in this. This is a new tactic we're going to be trying anyway. It's 4-2-3-1, which is very flexible. We're going to try and get players into these positions. So this is what we've got at the moment. We've got Tom Macaulay under contract in goal. Right back, we've got a Dunstan. He's signed a new contract. Probably going to be the only original player that's left with us. He's still got a bit of potential ability. He's showing at 2 at the moment and a potential of 3. But I'll be looking to get somebody who is more of a wing back in there, an attacking threat. Regan Seed, our 18-year-old centre back, is showing, but he could be a backup right back. He's shown as a no-nonsense full back. 2-star current ability, 5-star potential. I had a bid in for him, team trying to get him for nothing, but we asked them for 10 grand and they went away like they do. Centre backs, we've got Seed as well. This is where we are really short. This is only showing players that are signed under contract. I'm hopeful of getting Sams to sign a new contract, but Charby is showing as a central defender, really at 5'8", with a jumping reach of 4 and heading of 7. I don't think so. He won't be a centre back, that's for certain. Regan Seed, seen more as a right full back, although he's 5'10" and got heading of 9 and jumping reach of 12, so he can play there, so he could be back up for there. Left sided, we've got them two as well, so we're going to get rid of that. So as I say, it all depends on Sam's re-signing. Abontahoma is probably going to move. We've had offers. His contract runs out at the end of the season. He could go for nothing. He won't sign a new contract, and we've asked for it 8,000. We've had a bid of 4,000, I think. So watch this space for that one. Left back, Connor Ferguson, as I say, he's now a regular starter, signed a new contract. Could take Reed out of there. Looks like we've found a left back. His current ability is 3, 5-star potential ability. So we're looking for a big season from Connor Ferguson, although I'm not so sure he's so good at going forward. 2 defensive midfielders. This is where I see Charby, a Dunstan can fill in there, and we've got youngster Jason Tuffy. He's just signed a new contract, but again we're looking for somebody probably a little bit better than that. And we've got the same players on the other side, so players needed there. Attacking midfielder right, we've got new signing Michael Jacobs and Harry Lovick. Shamov is a left-sided player, so get rid of him. Callum Stead, our new striker, can also play on the wing. I see him as a striker, so he's a right-footed player, so we've got 3 players that can play there. Attacking midfielder centre, look at all these. Conrad Porritt, young player, 17, only 1 star. Toho, we've given him chances before. I'd more likely see him in there, so let's remove Porritt. Will Truman is the main man for me. He will be in this position. Lovick can play there, but I see him more on the wing. Same with Jacobs. Callum Stead, see as a striker, and Jason Tuff is more of a defensive midfielder, ball winner. So Toho and Will Truman. So we're not too bad for there. We've got Truman with Toho as a backup. On the left side, we've got Lovick and Jacobs and Callum Stead. And I don't know why Shamov is not showing on that side. He is a left-footed player. Let's have a look. Midfielder Shamov. We're going to put him in there. He is a left-footed player. Stead can play there. Jacobs can play there. Lovick can play there. I definitely see Lovick on the right side. Jacobs is midfielder left inverted winger. So Jacobs will probably start on the left with Shamov as a backup. Striker. We've got Callum Stead at the moment, but Will Truman is showing as a striker as well. We'll be probably looking for somebody with, I see Will Truman as attacking midfielder, so probably somebody in front of Stead, and Stead as a backup, although I've told him he's an important player. So I'm going to go away, get some moves made in the transfer market. We've got lots of scouting reports coming through now. We can strengthen that squad and look forward to a good season for our 5th season here at Bradford Park Avenue. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe and hit the notifications if you can, and I'll be back with the next season. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.